Okay, what is your name and where do you grow up?
My name is Ma Zhang. I grew up in the Merced area.
And where do you currently live now?
I currently live in Merced.
Alright, what do you enlist in the armed forces?
Why did I join the military? After high school, I didn't have a career that I want to pursue, so I want to join the military and go overseas, travel to another country to see how it's like before I come back to become a civilian and go back to school again.
So just like see the world, kind of.
Yeah.
I like see the world.
Yeah.
Go to different countries.
Yeah.
See the people, interact with the people.
Right.
And so you're active soldier right now, right?
Right now, I'm like National Guard, but during that time when I went, I was active duty Army.
Okay, so currently you're in the reserves.
Yeah, currently I'm with the reserve. Yeah.
Okay, so what branch of the military were you in?
After high school, I joined the Army.
The army?
Yeah, and I went to boot camp in Georgia.
In Georgia.
Fort Benning, Georgia.
Oh. Okay. So do you have like a choice? Like, do you like really want to go into the army, or do you like kind of want to go into like, the Air Force, the Marines?
During that time, I didn't have a plan I want to do. But if I can turn back the world of the time, I prefer to sign up for the Air Force.
Yeah, Air Force is.
But yeah, during that time, I got recruited into the Army, so I signed up for the Army.
Yeah, Air Force because you don't really do that much, right?
You do. There's a lot of stuff that you can do in the military. There's a lot of jobs that you do. Yeah.
Okay, so during what years did you serve?
1991, I joined the military. I went to boot camp, and from 91 to 95, I was active duty Army.
91 and 95?
Yeah.
And so, can you just tell me, like, where were you between those years?
Like, where I was stationed at?
Yeah.
Okay, so after I finished basic training, I went to Germany. I was stationed in Germany.
Germany?
Mannheim, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
4th ID, 4A Infantry.
So you like just stayed in Europe for how long?
Normally, if you're single, then you do like a 2-year tour. If you're married, then you do like a 3-year tour.
Oh.
Okay.
And so if you're married, then you go for longer. Then.
Yeah. Because it takes so long for you to bring your wife and your family over there.
Yeah. That's true.
That's why they keep you over there.
That's true. Okay, so did you go anywhere else, or?
After that, I finished 2-year my tour. Then I PCS. PCS is like a permanent change of station.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to Fort Erin, California, as an opposing force as a trainer.
I have a quick question. Like, so in Germany, like, were you allowed to like go into the country, like just like hang out?
Oh
with
yes,
people?
yes. After once you do your 8-hour duty for the Army,
You just have off time.
and then after duty hour, it's like 4 to 5 p.m. You can go out to town. You can go shopping and do whatever like your daily life does. Yeah.
Alright, so what was your rank during those years?
During those years, I started out as E1, and I went up to the tiers to like E4.
E4.
Yeah.
And so after you were active soldier, you went to the reserves. And so what was your rank in the reserves?
I start out as I lateral transfer to the reserve, so I was still E4.
Oh, so E4.
Yeah. And then I have to work my way back up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And so do you serve during wartime? Like.
I did. When I was active duty Army, we were not actually in war with like Kosovo. I was there during that time, but I never got there.
You never got
Because it was part of the NATO or something, and we were stationed close to there, but they would never really deploy us there.
Okay, so you just like stayed at the base. It was close to the battle
Yeah,
where they fight in the Middle East, but you
Right.
just stayed at the base most of the time.
Right.
Alright, so how many times were you deployed?
How many times I deploy? During the active duty time, I would say 0.
0?
Yeah, 0. So in order for your unit deploy, there's a lot of measurement. They have to come out and survey your unit. Does your unit meet the criteria for deployment?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you were to deploy, it's you and your whole unit.
Yeah, your whole unit will go, not just only you.
Not
Yeah.
just on you. Okay, so like, how many times were you sent over to Germany or to like the Middle East or?
This one during my active duty time, I was sent over to Germany only one time. That's it.
Only one time?
And then I came down to Fort Earn, and my 4 years up, and I decided to leave the military and pursue my civilian life while I was still transferred to the National Guard.
All right, and what were the main military conflicts happening at the time when you were in active service?
That's pretty much it. Just the Kosovo,
Oh,
the Yugoslavia, Albania, all the stuff. That was a problem during that time.
Oh yeah, and this was before the war of terrorism
Yeah.
too, before 9/11.
Oh, that's
all
like
that stuff.
that's like way
way before.
after, way
Before
yeah.
and after.
Yeah.
And so, what was the primary job that you had while you served?
I was a Bradley driver.
A Bradley driver?
Yeah, Bradley driver. Bradley is sort of like a armored personal carrier tank with a mini 25mm cannon.
And so it's like an armored.
It's like
an armored vehicle
it's
with
like
a machine gun on top.
Yeah, it was like an armored tank.
Yeah. So was it fun to drive or?
It is when you look at it, but the thing about being a driver is that you only have like a limited view that you have to drive.
Oh, yeah.
You have to sit way inside the tank, and you have this periscope that you have to look through. And then, what really is a challenge is you have to drive at night.
Oh,
When
yeah.
the nighttime comes, it's not like you can have your driving light on.
Yeah.
You drive with the blackout everything,
Yeah.
and you have a night vision goggle, and you mount it, and then you drive. But then you have the track commander. He's way on top. He'll tell you if you're way to the right, to the left. He'll tell you.
And you also have to look out for like the IEDs and everything too.
During
Or
that
was
time,
the commander's job?
during that time, we didn't have the IED.
Oh yeah. It was.
The IED was like later on. During that time, we worried about like you have all these like another tank fire the cannon at you. And that's the
Yeah.
only thing you
Yeah.
worry about. Yeah.
And so what was your main job in the reserves?
As in the reserve, when I got out, I was 11 Charlie, which is like a mortars.
Water.
Yeah, 60
Mortar.
mortars and 81 mortars.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like a fire mission support for the ground troop that advanced on an objective that they trying to overtake, and I will be the guy that kind of like calculate all the coordinate for the gun, and will shoot like round to support the troop on the ground.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. And so, what's the hardest thing about being in the military right now?
The hardest thing that being in the military would be, if you're single, then it's pretty much like loneliness. Because when you're far away from your family, and you're overseas, then pretty much, and you have to meet a lot of friends, and they don't do what like you do, and then it becomes very lonely, because you miss home, you miss all your friends, and during the weekend, then it's pretty much you by yourself, because all your friends like disappear. They have their needs and they're gone. That's the hardest thing to be in the military is like loneliness.
Just lonely.
Yeah.
Whenever your shift's done, you just go into the base, just hang around by yourself.
Well, when the shift starts, you have a lot of friends that comes in already.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people will interact, that's the fun part. But right after duty hour, or when you go to the weekend, then that's like everything is like a quiet ghost town.
Yeah.
And like sometimes if you like isolated from where the main people go shopping, then that becomes very lonely too, because sometimes when you want to go shopping, it's pretty far too.
Yeah.
And it's like your station, your base is in Merced, but the shopping, everything is in that water. So you don't have a car, you have to take the bus, and you probably have to walk or ride a bicycle there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the hardest thing to adopt to military life is loneliness.
What was the most memorable experience that you had in the military?
The most memorable experience is like you going out there and you're driving your tank and you do this war game. Yeah, that's what the fun part is, because you put all this, kind of like a laser tag.
Oh.
Yeah, you probably heard of laser tag, right? you put all this like gear and all this laser tag on your gun, and you go out there and you actually play a war game, and you shoot at each other. And if another tank shoots you, you're dead. Then you have a little flashing light on your tank will be flashing, and that's the most fun and remarkable time I would have is you're gonna play this war game, like actually go and shoot everybody. That's the most fun part.
Yeah,
of it.
yeah. So
Yeah.
so it's kind of like a game of laser tag with all your friends.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like it's actual training.
It's actual training.
It's actual training
Yeah.
where you have, or they didn't use explosives or anything, right?
They
Like
well
motors.
they do they use those they call it pyro. They toss and they actually explode.
Oh.
Big boom, right? But it doesn't have all this fragment flying to you.
Yeah, yeah,
They toss it somewhere, just make a loud noise like the real thing.
yeah. I think I've seen something like
Yeah.
that before.
It's fun when there's all this war exercise happening, but if there's no exercise, then it becomes very boring.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
boring. You just gotta do it.
Yeah. Time goes fast and days go fast when you have an exercise like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, were you awarded any medals or citations?
Yes, I did. If you were out overseas for like 2 years, you get an overseas ribbon. Okay, and then if you go like on the tank, we have a qualification that we have to go shoot.
Mhm.
And if you shoot like 950 to 1,000 point, then you get a commendation medal. And I got a Army Achievement Medal because I shot over 900 point.
Oh,
Yeah, I almost got 1,000 points. So, it
so
was
it's
kinda-
1,000 points like a perfect score then?
yeah, 1,000 points is a perfect score, and then you get a commendation. But if you get less than 1,000, then you get a Army Achievement Medal.
And like, were any of your friends awarded anything too, or
If you like the whole crew on the tank gets it.
the whole crew?
Yeah, not just only one person.
And like everyone else over there gets the overseas ribbon.
Right. Everybody that is stationed overseas for 2 years, then you get the overseas ribbon, and plus 3 years if you like stay out of trouble, you get the good conduct medal. Right.
The good conduct.
Good conduct medal, and then whatever other stuff you did, then your supervisor has to put you in for your award.
Okay, and what was the interaction with the locals?
You get to talk to them about, because most of the time when you're over there, you don't know what their culture is like.
Yeah.
So you get to share your experience with them, and you get to learn their culture.
Yeah.
And they might ask you something about how is America live? What's the culture like over there? So you can kind of interact with the local over there, and they're very friendly.
Really?
Yeah, they're really friendly. They talk to you, and they enjoy American over there. Yeah, they liked it, and sometimes some of the GI get married over there.
Really? Oh yeah.
They get married
Yeah,
to the local over there.
Okay, so from your experience, how was the military for women, like in general?
Usually in the army, women are not as a combat front line.
So they're mostly just like support.
Yeah, they're more like mostly support, like logistic and all that stuff. But they get treat just the same as any individual in the military.
Yeah.
There's no like favoritism among each other, something like that. But it's just the woman is just like the woman on their unit, so they're like support for the infantry.
And they go through all the same things that you guys do too, right?
Yes, they go do the same thing, training. They get the same treatment, everything just like us. But it's just that in the army, in the past, they don't mix women and men together on a unit. They don't do that. But right now, I think they did. But it's just how it is. As time progresses, everything starts changing.
And so you say that every other soldier treated them the same, equally, right?
Yeah. The military has that zero tolerance law. So if you walk up to a female and she's higher ranked than you, then like for example like a sergeant, you have to address her as a sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
You can't say any bad thing about a female or any bad thing about a guy. You have to the respect is there. If they wear like a staff sergeant rank, you have to call them staff sergeant. If they're like a E4 specialist, you have to call them specialist. and we go by they call each other by the last name.
Oh.
Yeah, so if I was to walk up to a female and her name is, let's say, Sergeant Johnson, and I call her Sergeant Johnson and she get upset, then apparently she's in the wrong. Okay?
Mm. And so, what do you do as a career after your time of service?
As like right now?
Yeah, as of right now.
Right now I'm a prison guard.
Prison guard.
Yeah. I work for the FBOP or the DOJ or what we call it Department of Justice. Yeah, that's what I do in my career right now. And then I still do like a part-time National Guard. So one weekend of the month I will go to my home base and conduct a drill over there.
And so are you at like the Atwater Penitentiary or?
Yes,
Yes.
I'm at the Atwater Penitentiary.
All right. So how does service affect your life?
In a good way or bad way?
Both.
Both. The good way. Let's talk about the good way. It give me a lot of experience.
Mm.
Experience that I have never been exposed to.
Yeah.
Okay. So after active duty army, I went to the guard and they taught me how to work on like electrical stuff, mechanical stuff, troubleshoot all this like mechanical stuff. So it's a good way to, if you sign up with the military, they teach you all this, and you have all these skills that you can apply into the civilian world.
Mm-hmm.
And, the negative about it is that, like I said, sometime you have something great that you want to plan this weekend, but there you go, you have that military that kind of like mess your weekend up. That's the only drawback about it. But if you make a commitment to sign up with the military, you have to make that commitment.
Yeah, and you have to go.
You have to go.
You have to go. And so, what do you recommend someone like me to go into the military?
I would. Okay, if you don't have a career and you don't know your future, I think the military is a great way to discipline, motivate, and get your morale going. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you can build your experience, you can build your respect, dignity, everything from the military, because the military is about respect, dignity,
Discipline.
and courtesy, all the stuff, discipline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then once again you can get all this experience from the military, and then if you decide to leave the military, you can apply to the civilian, and you can get a job from the civilian much easier. Yeah.
Great. Alright, so these are my questions now. And so, did the U.S. involvement in the Secret War in Laos influence you in any way? You
That's pretty much like political. Yeah, that's a lot of political. I think that whatever their government and the United States government, they came to some kind of agreement. But no, I would say no, that doesn't influence my thing.
And so did like any of your like uncles or?
A lot of my uncles were in the secret war in Laos, but if you think about the history about it, it's pretty much something else,
Yeah. It's something way different from.
Yeah, way different from
nowadays.
how we sign up to
Yes.
to join the military.
Yeah, because like back then they were kind of forced to do it.
Yeah,
Or kind of because you had the communists and then the rest of the people, and so they were kind of forced to fight against the communists.
right.
But now you have a choice.
You have a choice.
You have a choice, and so if you don't know what you're doing, then if you want to go have some experience in life, join the military.
Right.
So the next question is, what made you stay in the military for you?
When I came off the active duty, it kind of like life was still boring. So I could make a difference out of myself by just doing the weekend.
Oh yeah.
The weekend, and then sometime we have this DFT. We call like deployment to another place. So they have this opportunity that during those 2 weeks you can deploy to some other country or some other base for training. And there you go again. It's the opportunity that you get exposed to the local and to another country.
So see the world again.
Yeah, to see the world again. So that's why I stay with the military, with the guard. Yeah.
And so this was before you started playing ball, right?
Yeah. Well, no, I played volleyball way before I joined the military.
Like before.
Yeah, I was still in high school. I was playing volleyball with some of the folks from a friend before I went to the military. Yeah.
All right. So, do you believe in the draft?
Do I believe in the draft? Yes and no. Should if we have a major war come in, then yeah, everybody has obligation to go and fight for the country. Okay.
Yeah.
I give you a good example. It's like, besides America, another country, they have a mandatory that you must serve in the military for at least 2 years. Okay. Some other country, they have that policy. So regardless if you don't want to join, you are mandatory to go and serve for the military for like at least six months to a year. But in the United States, you have the option whether you sign up or you don't sign up. But then you still have to do that selective service and all that draft too. So when you turn 18, you have to go fill like a selective service. That's pretty much the draft. The military, the government, they're not going to draft you unless there's a major war.
Yeah, unless like World War III happened.
Yeah,
so,
unless World War III happened, or let's say that World War III happened and you got drafted and you're the only survivor son left, then the military will excuse you because they want to keep your thing going. Okay, you watched the movie Saving Private Ryan, right?
Yeah.
So he was the last son, so they were ordered to go get him back.
Yeah. Okay. And so did you keep in touch with all your friends that you made overseas?
The interaction between the friend overseas, when you leave that base, then you travel to another base and you make a lot of friends, and you pretty much your mind, your heart, your ears, and your eye concentrate on that area only. So sometimes your friend from behind and you lose contact.
Oh.
Unless they transfer to another base that you get to interact again. But like it's just like life, it's always like a move on. You have to move on all the time.
Yeah. So you just like kind of lost contact over.
Yeah, you lost contact.
Over time.
Maybe for the couple of weeks you still contact them, or after that then you lost contact because you got so much stuff you got to focus on.
Like after a few months you start forgetting.
Yeah, you start forgetting them, and you got to focus on some of the stuff.
So last question is, given the option, would you ever enlist again, or like say if we were to go back 20, 25 years, and if you were given the choice to enlist, would you do it again?
Yeah, I would do.
You would?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I would, definitely. It's just that since you have the knowledge, you have the feeling that how's the military gonna be like, then you're well prepared. So yes, I would do it again.
All right, that's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Hopefully the video caught all of that.